Are you struggling to reach that elusive 10% body fat? The harsh truth is that most people attempting this fail because they're making some very common mistakes. Only 1 in 10 guys succeed. But here's the good news. It's not impossible. If you're natural and determined to reach that 10% body fat mark, you're facing a tough challenge. But here's the truth. You can beat the odds with the right approach. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 key rules that, if followed, will drastically increase your chances of success. Let's flip those odds in your favor. Have you ever struggled to make real progress despite doing everything right? Drop a comment below and let me know where you think you might be going wrong. Now, let's dive into rule number 1. Here's something nobody tells you. When you first start your fat loss journey, things can get discouraging. You might be lifting consistently and you've built muscle, but suddenly your body looks worse. Why does this happen? Well, when you first enter a calorie deficit, your body doesn't immediately burn the fat you want to lose. Instead, it taps into your glycogen stores and intramuscular fat first, making you look flat and maybe even a bit soft. But this phase is temporary. Has this happened to you? Drop a comment if you've noticed this early in your fat loss journey. It's totally normal. The crucial part is pushing through this phase. Stick with your calorie deficit, and your body will eventually target the fat you're looking to lose. It's all about patience here. No one wants to admit it, but the biggest obstacle to reaching your goal is the person staring back at you in the mirror, especially after you slip up. The reality is that mistakes will happen. You'll miss a workout, or maybe you'll overeat. The key isn't avoiding these mistakes entirely. It's minimizing the time it takes to get back on track. Ask yourself, how long does it take for you to get back on track after a cheat meal? Is it a day, a week, maybe longer? The faster you can recover from these slip-ups, the more successful you'll be. At first, it might take weeks to reset, but with time and enough practice, it should take just a meal or even a snack before you're back on track. That's when you know you're in control. What's your biggest struggle when it comes to staying consistent? Let me know in the comments. Here's a tough pill to swallow. When you think you're almost done, you're probably only about 2/3 of the way through your cut. This process is going to take longer than you expect, and that's where most people fall off. Most guys get stuck around 17 to 20% body fat and don't realize it. They relax, cheat more often, and progress slows down. If you want to keep moving forward, you need to double down on your discipline. This is when accuracy matters. This is where you need to be more precise with your food tracking, stick to your training, and keep your energy high. The more fat you lose, the harder it gets. Here's a fact. If you keep making the same mistakes without learning from them, you'll never break free from the cycle of failure. It's so easy to let one bad meal turn into a bad day, then a bad weekend, and suddenly you've erased all your hard-earned progress. But here's the good news. If you do learn from those mistakes, you'll progress faster than you ever imagined. Each time you mess up, take the time to figure out why it happened. Was it emotional eating? Lack of preparation? Maybe you went off track because of stress, or you underestimated your portion sizes. Use that knowledge to avoid making the same mistake again. If you address your mistakes productively, you'll learn more in a few months than most people learn in years. Finally, remember this: a calorie deficit is temporary. One of the biggest fears people have is that they'll be stuck eating in a calorie deficit forever. Let me be clear, that's not the case. Getting to 10% body fat is a phase, not a permanent lifestyle. Once you hit your goal of 10% body fat, you'll transition to maintenance, where you can eat more while keeping your lean physique. But here's where people go wrong. A lot of people make the mistake of reintroducing processed foods too quickly, which leads to overeating and regaining the fat they worked so hard to lose. The best way to avoid this? Stick to the healthy foods you've been eating, just in larger portions. That way, you give your body time to adjust without piling the fat back on. Reaching 10% body fat is one of the toughest yet most rewarding challenges you can take on as a natural. But by following these 5 key rules, you'll drastically increase your chances of success. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe for more tips and strategies on how to reach your fitness goals. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's the hardest part of getting lean for you? Let's get the conversation started, and I'll see you in the next video.